that's the main thing I guess like people think about when they're thinking of pulling out of a fight. It's like, but I'm not gonna get paid. I'm not gonna get my show money.
Yeah, I know I
So
did all that, and plus, I had my family, and at the same time, this
Yeah.
is recently me getting dumped and shit. So,
Yeah,
so
Fuck.
so that's on my head, and it's like
Oh, brother, I
I'm
know.
fucking stressing, dude. I'm like, man, like, all right, I gotta figure it out.
Always
whatever
comes at the
case
wrong
is,
moment.
wrong time, wrong place, and then people stop
Why?
following me. People stop, like, it's like one of those things. Like, it was a dramatic,
Oh,
awkward
yeah.
change. Like, everybody that was messing with me, not messing with me no more. And it was like, okay, like I end up seeing you.
Like, you know who those are, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's it. You keep tabs on these people
Yeah.
at some point because you feel it. Like when it's the people close to you, feel it. Like that's the thing.
Yeah,
but-
that's true. And I have one message to him. It's like, hey, again, I apologize for all the people that gave up on me in 2021. Y'all can still suck it. That's just sitting there saying DX style.
Send like a little put that clip out actually
right
for
there.
you.
Yeah,
You can have that one.
and mean it. Like, it don't make no
Yeah.
sense.
I hear this a lot, like, because I also edit other podcasts of fighters who have podcasts and stuff like that, and they always say like after this is after retirement, and you're not retired, I know, but where like they lose their sense of purpose, and it's like because you've focused everything and all your energy and like you're training every day and you're thinking about it every day and everything, so you lose your identity, kind of like it gets lost in the as a fighter instead, and it's difficult for people to program their brain while fighting to also see themselves as like the whole, like I have so many other things to offer, and I'm a father, and I'm a brother, and I have these skills and those skills, so and then I can imagine like that's when you feel like your soul probably like gets killed.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like
Yeah.
it's like you said. I will say we get lost in the sauce. Like you end up making
Yeah.
so much stuff, and then it's like you taste it.
This
It's
is
like either
you.
good, yeah, this is what you did.
And it's the most successful version of you, basically.
There it
It's
is,
like, Yeah.
And like I stated, I had to end up learning that part like the hard way when I did get lost and figured out that I got lost. I'm just happy that this year I figured it out.
Yeah.
Because the part that I ended up getting lost at, it was the fact is that my first son, they ended up taking my rights, and I just didn't click it together.
Yeah.
And I was having an up and down type of career, and then I got cut, and then I ended up taking a fight and I lost, and it's like, okay, I wanted to basically I had that little one-on-one conversation with myself, or we'll say that conversation with my sauce. What did I end up putting in here? What was not good? What was not, what shouldn't fit? Like, okay, I shouldn't have put salt on there, or let me take that out the next time that I end up making this batch. All right,
like
instead
that.
of kale leaves, I should have ended up using regular leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and move this, and not go ahead and add that. So and this is me counseling and cutting things off, like like my drama and the problems, like I said, I got dumped type of ordeal. I had to cut that, I had to figure out like, since I'm getting kicked, or I got kicked out of my son's life, and I gotta wait for that moment where he decides to come see me, and now it's like, what else am I fighting for? It's the brightest,
Nice. Yeah.
the brightest thing that ever happened is my boy looking straight at me, and there's my answer. It's like he was there my whole time, and I was basically done at just trying to be a good father, but not knowing I could still be a good father and a person that still fights for what he wants, type of deal, So it's just like that. So I just kind of like redirected everything where me being a great father is sacrificing what I have to end up doing to automatically provide what needs to be done to make sure my son has a beautiful life, like, because it's like cool that I get to take him with me to the gyms. He gets to see that. He gets to see dad working for things and knowing when he gets to this age, he's going to realize, oh, he was doing all this for me, like, and it's like he's doing this for me and he was doing it for his, my older brother type of deal. So that's like the whole argument and what we're like aiming for, what I am aiming for, and what am I doing right now.
Yeah. What's crazy is the mind's a powerful thing, because it sounds like these are all like just mental shifts you made.
Oh, yeah.
Like just cognitive shifts, and it's like you didn't even change anything physically, I guess. Like, well, maybe like different kinds of sessions, but it's more like, how do I reprogram my brain to think about certain situations in a different light or from a different perspective that I wasn't used to before because I was too caught up.
Yeah, definitely.
Just going like 100 miles an hour. What is it? 1,000 miles. What's a lot of miles? Because like we have a different system. We have a different system in Europe.
yeah. Going at 100 miles per hour.
100 miles per hour is good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's the whole like mental health argument, I guess, of it. Is like once you're in like this dark place and stuff like that, it's like what helped you most in like sort of compartmentalizing those things and seeing them as separate entities for the first time, and seeing like, this is one element of my life that I need to change, and this is something that needs to change, and this needs to stay, you know what I mean? Like the way you were describing it was like suddenly you saw it not as one thing but as in pieces.
Yeah,
and you can like compartmentalize it.
Yeah, there you go. And then put it like this. We'll do this. It is one piece, but it's like when you put in like a puzzle together and just picture like you have 1,000 pieces. You're trying to figure it out. So it's like, oh yeah, this goes, and then it's like, nah, you're forcing that piece right there. Move that piece. Oh, okay, this one fits because it actually goes. Because let's be real. We have people that do puzzles. They try to force pieces growing up sometimes. Like, nah, this is gonna go. Like but it doesn't. Like it ain't the right one. It doesn't go there. So but yeah, it's just putting things together, and that's what ended up happening. Granted that it took me to jump out of a plane to understand this.
It's a crazy story.
It's like so. Granted, like I had my little mini like stroke episode type ordeal, right? And normally I'll like brush things off and call it is what it is. Oh, whatever, move on like nothing happened. Probably still would have been stressing, but this happened in front of my child, and that's where
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, so this is where that piece is where I got to start moving these things like to automatically get things because there was something I couldn't do, and it was one of those moments I'm like crying, and the only thing I wanted to do was hold my child, and he doesn't know what's going on. He just, hey, Dad, like talking to me normal, but not knowing my whole left side, and it's going numb, can't move it, can't feel it, and my face goes droopy and everything. So it's like he doesn't know what's going on. He just, hey, Dad, But that scared me. It scared me the most, and it affected us in like, oh, when am I leaving my child? What am I doing? What's gonna end up happening if I go? Who's taking care of you? So I made the mindset to make sure the mom is cool to be able to finish her school and without stress. Granted, I want to be pissed off at times, but it's like, nah, I need her to be able to do her thing because if something happens to me,
you need to grow up and mature fast.
There you go. Yeah,
situations. Put that bullshit aside.
Exactly. Hey, focus. But she's doing her thing. She's killing it.
Yeah.
So, so when she's done, and if something ever, God forbid something does happen to me, that she's gonna be taken care of. And I already know my family will do the same thing. But it's still scary, as in something like that almost happened in front of my child, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I ended up going to the hospital. They break it down. They're saying I'm good. You're just stressing and stuff like that. You gotta relax. And I needed like that whole reverse, like basically a reverse card. We're playing Uno. I had to hit that reverse card, or pick up 4, whatever you call it.
In a stressful career though, a stressful career choice.
No, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. But at the end of the day, I know where most people end up feeling like it's stress right there. But in reality, when us fighters, when we fight, we're not stressed about that. It's the weight cuts. It's weight cuts, and then adds into the factors in what's going on the outside of the life, where awkward shit happens at the wrong time in our life. Hey, we got to cut 10 pounds today, right? And out of nowhere, you get a phone call talking about, hey, your dog died. We don't want to hear that shit, Or hey, the front yard is burning, or you can't. In fact, it goes down to the most smallest things. You can't find your keys. Boom, mind blown. Then you're cutting weight, and that's the stress that ends up adding us. Yeah, that's the stress that we end up developing. But when we end up fighting, we all know what the sport we're in. Don't get me wrong, we're scared, but we love the adrenaline. We love violence, the part, you're able to turn it into art. Hey, there's a chance you might get knocked out, or there's a chance you could knock someone out. There's a chance that they might die, but we all we're gladiators and we accept
knock them out first.
Yeah, it's just so that's our mindset when it kind of comes to the stuff,
Yeah, no stress. How much of a part did this thought play in your stress, as in the fact that your child might see his father in a moment of weakness or something like that? Because seeing my father, seeing a father in a moment of weakness is crazy.
No,
think about those guys. That was my superhero, I say he's alive. I say that's my superhero.
Yeah, you better have
as a kid, he was my superhero. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, definitely. But it's we're gonna go in the whole the Marvel DC type ordeal.
Yeah.
We have Superman, right? Strongest man in the world, the planet or universe, how you want to place it, right? They got to make it to the point that he's invincible, right?
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, not truly invisible because he has a weakness. His weakness is kryptonite.
Yep.
Meaning, or magic, or how you end up floating into those directions, right? And this kind of shines as in that perfect dad that you want ain't really the perfect one. He ends up showing as in what I'm showing you today. Hey, all right. Most generation, I was talking about this earlier with Aaron Tuff. Go ahead. So yeah, with the factors in most fathers, like they're meant to be like the head honcho. They got to be strong, and and it's like you end up seeing a lot of cultures where if the leader is weak or shows weakness, they're not they're not the leader anymore. Like, hey, we got to challenge it. Like they do it like in the lion packs. Like, oh, as soon as the king of the pride ends up showing weakness, they challenge. Like, even Black Panther. It's like Wakanda. When it's time like for a new king or whatnot, they end up challenging it. Hey, I challenge, it's challenge day. Like, like, but yeah, so it's like little moments like that. And so they got to end up being tough, especially from your kids and your family. If you're the head hold, as soon as you end up showing weakness. And that's something that ended up happening to me last year. I was showing weakness and it showed, and I had to, and, basically everything was going down. We'll call that like a negative streak. Like, we have a negative vibe that ends up entering and it ends up growing, and it's like it's going to continue to grow until you start weeding it, cutting it out, or pushing it out, or whatever the case is. You got to clean up your room. It's like, how mold comes.
What are you someone who, like, because I have this sometimes, like once everything starts going negative and going down and stuff, I'm like, let's finish this whole, that we call it drinking the full gallon of poison, I think in Europe or something like that. I have to get it all out. I have to go all the way down to like start looking at it and go all the way up again. You know what I mean?
No, definitely do. Okay. Yeah. But no, definitely end up feeling that. I always, for me, I always sit there and say it'd be like, it comes in threes, like, and I know like a lot of other people like follow that. Threes. Yeah, it's like when one thing happens, you already prepared. I'm well prepared for that. All right, there's two more. All right, where's it coming at? And it's like, granted, like I'm already putting the negative energy there for the two negative things to happen, but it normally comes in threes, like,